Welcome to Straight Up with Steve and Stevona. I'm Steve Hernandez.
And I'm Stevona Delgado.
Oh, you guys are so great. Our subscriptions slowly climbing. We're up to 75 now. Praise God.
What?
We're up to 75. Well, we'll see. I'm hoping. I'm speaking out of
Okay,
faith.
but also we lost a follower too.
We lost. Someone unsubscribed.
Yeah, we went from 62 and then I checked this morning, it was 61.
Someone unsubscribed.
You're a fucking hater, dude.
Yeah. We're taping this one pretty quickly after the other intro. I said 75 in faith. How about that?
Whoever unsubscribed, go to hell.
Yeah, go to hell. Tragic news in Covina. This is really, really sad.
Gosh.
Virtually overnight, this is all over 626 West Covina News. Our personal Little Caesars right across the street on Covina Boulevard in Citrus has closed down, folks. That's right. It is closed down.
Oh, I felt my heart break when you told me that the first. Didn't you hear it? You heard it like shatter.
I mean, I heard it. Yeah, I told her just the news, not knowing how she would react.
I know he didn't even let me down easy. As soon as I got in the door, what the fuck?
And she said, "What?" She said, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, they're gone." Virtually overnight. The rumor is it's a tenant dispute that they wanted to hike up the rent. And so Little Caesars rightfully walked away. Listen, you can't exploit someone like Little Caesars, that was always providing food for the community, the needy.
The comedians. Literally, George's girlfriend bought 12 boxes of Little Caesars. I want to say 4 days ago.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that we had that time with Little Caesars.
And it really brought us together too,
That's what Little Caesars does. Is someone could buy 10 of those, and it's not crazy. You could buy 10 pizzas, and you're going to pay $70 or something like that. That's like 2 nice pizzas anywhere else.
And they didn't even I feel like they could have came and talked to me about I feel we could have worked something out, Also, they didn't they should have, I don't know, they did it too fast. They could have talked to us. They didn't even know we're starting a podcast, and we've been promoting them heavily. They've been at least almost 75% of all of our videos. They could have waited. They could have made it big thanks to us.
Yeah, the business could have turned around. It was a tenant dispute, Stevona.
What does that mean?
That means that the landlord wanted to increase the rent too much. They were trying to take advantage of Little Caesars, which I'm not okay with. Mm-mm. And they were trying to just hike it up too much, and Little Caesars rightfully walked away. It would be as if you were in a relationship and your boyfriend came to you and said, imagine if you had a boyfriend and they came to you and said, "I want to open up our relationship."
Oh my gosh, you always haunt me with those fucking words.
Well, imagine what would you do if your boyfriend said that?
I would give him a shiner.
Yeah, walk away, wouldn't you?
After I hit him.
Well, maybe that's something what Little Caesars did. Let me ask you a question. What is your earliest memory of Little Caesars?
I used to always get Little Caesars with my ex boyfriend, Roy. Shout out, Roy. He's engaged now.
I hope you're happy, Roy.
My mom and my stepdad used to call him my pet rock. Total opposite from me.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when he was with me, he would not shut the up. But anytime he got around my friends, my family, I took him to Hawaii one time because
How old were you?
I was 18 because I was doing judo, so I went to nationals and I took him with me.
Whoa! You know judo? You went to nationals?
Yes, I tell you that I'm a brown belt.
Could you throw me?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't toss you over because you're kind of heavy, but I could foot sweep you and get you to fall back.
Thank you so much for kind of heavy. I'm super fat.
I'm trying to lay down the fat phobia,
Oh, thank you. That's very nice.
I'm trying to put those rumors to rest.
Thank you. You could do that in a couple other areas in your life. Okay, so you and Roy?
Me and Roy.
You guys would split a hot and ready?
Yes, he would always get me a hot and ready. The thing is that Roy graduated high school before me.
How old was he?
He was maybe 2 years older than me.
Okay,
He
that's
was
not bad.
yeah, it wasn't bad. He wasn't on no creepy shit. But he would always ride his bike or ride his scooter to come get me. This is the one where I would stand on the pegs all the time. Yeah. He didn't care. Whatever it is he had to do to come see me, that man was seeing me, And whatever I wanted, poor thing, he didn't have a job. So anytime I was hungry, he would buy Little Caesars for me in quarters.
Oh. Dude, you're just a little pup. You're just one of the little dogs that women carry around.
And then I was like obsessed with boba at the time too. This is when I just found out about boba. So we would go to the Little Caesars, and then right next door was like this Asian place. It was like a laundromat, but they sold boba there.
That happens.
And it was like $2.50. So Roy would literally like collect his quarters and buy me Little Caesars with it, and buy me a boba, and then we would just ride back on his bicycle. He didn't steal the bicycle though. That's a
Nobody
good thing.
said that. Oh, that's part of the joke, you mean? In your joke?
No, I'm being serious. I don't want nobody to think he stole
No,
them.
but in your joke, you said he used to, the guy stole bikes.
Yeah, well, a lot of the guys that I had crushes on would steal bikes.
Oh, okay. That's a El Monte thing, I guess, right?
La Puente, Bassett, Baldwin Park.
Okay.
But yeah, shout out. I will always remember those. We got fat together. That's the thing. We got like so fucking fat together. We went to college together, and we got FAFSA specifically so we can get McDonald's breakfast every single day. And we wouldn't even do no work. His mom would take us to school, drop us off at McDonald's.
This is what Republicans are scared of right here. Lazy Mexicans cashing in on the FAFSA, eating McDonald's.
Dude. And he would eat McGangbangs, dude. That boy was nasty.
And by the way, you in college is startling.
I tried.
Yeah. 1 semester or 1 year?
Oh, I quit after they cut my FAFSA off.
So 1 semester probably?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was only like, I wasn't even taking classes that like benefited me. There was 1 year I was taking a Chinese class to learn Chinese. And then I took oceanography because I thought it was going to be about fishes. I don't know. It's about fucking rivers and shit. I thought I was going to learn about like fishes. And I was doing weightlifting. I had like all these electives as classes.
Wait, what school?
Citrus.
Oh, okay.
I went to Rio Hondo College for a little bit. No, maybe it was 2 semesters. I went to Rio Hondo College for a little bit, and I didn't like walking up that hill. I was like, I don't change schools. So I just went to Citrus.
Yeah. Some of my earliest memories, I'm significantly older than you, is I remember Pizza. Greg, you remember Pizza? Yeah. You don't remember Pizza, right?
Pizza. Is that one? I know the jingle.
Well, Little Caesars, you used to.
Is that like Pizza Loca?
No. It's just it was basically buy one get one free. Which is essentially this is when I was a little kid, so maybe 30 years ago. So it would come on this flat cardboard thing, 2 pizzas side by side with like a kind of a paper stapled over it together. Mm-hmm. And there was just nothing better. I remember if I had a sleepover in 5th grade, or I remember doing this a couple times. We'd get 4 pizzas, so being like a bunch of like 12-year-old boys, like 6 of them, and saying like, we're gonna kill these pizzas.
Oh my gosh, all the time, right?
Yeah, just so. The crazy bread was delicious back then. It's gotten worse. It tastes like water bread now. But before it used to be real buttery and tons of Parmesan. What a treat to find out if you had like a good batch of crazy bread. But it's, some of my earliest memories. So
Pizza, huh?
Yeah, Pizza. And, they went hot and ready. Probably saved the business. But the quality went down significantly. But,
I feel like quality, I feel like they changed the recipe of Little Caesars, because don't get me wrong, it's still good, but they definitely lost some of the spark when they took it out of the Kmart's,
Yeah,
we used to be a nation.
We used to be a country.
Oh, a country.
Nation's the same thing, but the phrase is a country. Remember Kmart always smelled like popcorn? Do you remember?
Yeah, they had popcorn, Slurpees, Raider merch. My dad used to buy me Shaquille O'Neal shoes there.
Damn, they made them that small.
They were
the
like
smallest Shaq shoes ever.
Yeah. Well, Shaq, he used to he purposely would put his shoes in Kmart and stuff, so like poor kids can have stuff like that.
And that's why they got made fun of.
Yeah, I know.
It's not like everyone's like, check out the new Shaq. Everyone's like, you poor ass.
Yeah, I got made fun of so much for having like fake shoes. I had like these were when Vans had like made a comeback and those checkered slip-ons were in.
Yeah.
And my mom took me to Payless and they had a replica of like that, but the checkers weren't going like long ways, they were going diagonal. And they were by the brand Airwalk. Yeah. And like kids found out that it wasn't the same. I didn't even fucking know. Like I was like, oh, it looks like that, and they're like calling me Airwhack all day. I know.
Airwalk was a good skate company.
Giovanni, you. Derek Otto, you.
Shoes didn't matter. I remember till middle school. I remember then I started to like care about getting Nikes or I mean Airwalks, Vision Streetwear. Those were big when I was coming up. BK Knights, the Streetwalkers were big.
I had some Tony Hawk shoes,
Yeah,
but they sold them at Kmart.
Yeah, those are bad too. But yeah, I remember in elementary school, I remember going to Payless. My mom would take us to Payless, and we get 1 or 2 pairs, and we would like. I just remember being in the little aisles, and my mom would be like, walk back and forth, a little modeling thing for your mom, and some fucking cheap plastic shoes.
Yeah, and then they got the mirrors down at the bottom. I remember that.
R.I.P. Little Caesars on Covina Boulevard,
And R.I.P. Payless.
Is Payless around still?
No, that's why I said R.I.P.
Oh my God.
Motherfuckers got money now, I guess.
As you know, if you watch this show, Stevona is in fact a diva, and I will propose this to you, Steve. All real divas go out with significantly older men at one point. Now, I know we talk off air about what her type is, who'd she go for, who she finds attractive. I know that older men are not off limits to you, but I do want to ask you. I mean, all the great divas. Jay-Z's way older than Beyonce. Celine Dion married that straight up old man who found her when she was like 13.
Oh, you see Cher with her young boo?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Not what I'm talking about.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
That was crazy, though.
Yeah, that's crazy. There's crazy things like that. The world actually is a crazy place.
I would, if the man was healthy and had all his hair,
Fit.
had all his teeth and fit, then
Why
yes.
hair? What do you care about hair?
Because I got hair. We got to match. we got to look like we're related, you know?
Okay, yeah, so let's say.
Sorry, Greg.
And he, of
Forget
course,
Greg's
has
fault.
to have money, right?
Oh, you cannot be older than
Thank
me
you.
and not have
Yeah.
money. What the was you doing the whole time? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, I know you're not, but what's the oldest you would go, you think?
Maybe no more than 45.
No more than 45.
Because I'm 30. Depending on like how good they look. The thing
And
is
how
that I'm
much
like,
money
they're
they
going to
have.
die before me. So I'm like, I'm going to have to be alone too.
No, that's okay. That's the plan with divas. They plan on the guys dying, and then you get a whole second round at life. So usually they say the saying is, the first time you marry for love, the second time you marry for money. But if you play your cards right, if you marry for money first, then you could pull a share. Then you could be rich, cash in on that guy's check after he dies, and then date a young man. And you don't even have to depend on anybody else after that. You have all that old guy's money. With that in mind, you really do think 45?
Yeah, if he's, yeah.
Okay.
Because I still want to enjoy life with him. I don't want him to fucking throw a hip out if we go bungee jumping or some shit like that, you know? Like, I'm still trying to fucking
Bungee jump.
scuba dive and all that shit. Like, I still want to live like we're young.
I didn't realize you were so extreme. Rollerblade,
Yeah.
jump out of a parachute. Greg, do you know what the weight limit is for jumping out of an airplane?
I have no idea.
I do know. And I have no shot at it. Do you know how much it is?
No, but I know I could do it.
You for sure can do it. 250. Yeah, so we have no chance at it.
Damn, I was going to take my dad jumping out a plane one time, but then we decided no because we're like, what if he had a heart attack on the way down?
And now he's dead.
Yeah, so good thing we didn't do it.
That would have been the way to go. You're better than however he died. Just some dumb health thing, right?
Yeah, well, we just walked in one day, he was dead.
Oh, really?
Yeah, remember I told you on the last podcast, remember? And we had to call the doctor and figure out like if he had any sicknesses, and the doctor was naming like all
yeah.
these
But
random shit.
you didn't say
It wasn't him.
You didn't say how he died. In
Oh,
fact,
we don't know how he died. It'll always be a mystery.
I remember that. I remember Stevona had talked about having a mom and dad. She would talk about her parents for a while, and then she didn't talk about them for maybe like 3 or 4 months. And then she made a joke where she said, my dad died. And then I was like, when did your dad die? And she was like, a few months ago. And I was like, that's a big deal.
Yeah, but I guess not for me because I always kind of knew he was going to die early. Like, I was always really prepared for it because he didn't really care about nothing.
Yeah.
He didn't really care about anything. And then plus, like, my dad always had, like, a talk with me about, like, heaven and stuff like that. And then he always, like, made it clear, like, if I die, I don't want you to be, like, the person that's always sad because then you're going to be Debbie Downer and all that stuff. And he's like, I don't want you to be like that. So I was already, like prepared for my dad to die. And I don't know. I just feel like ever since my dad died, everybody else's dad been dying too.
Well, that's how time works.
But it's like right one after another.
Who do you know?
Well, my best friend's dad died right after that,
Yeah.
and then like 2 other people's dad that I am close to died right
Yeah.
out, and it's like all the dads. So it's like, what the fuck they do? And God was like, get them out of here.
It's the male loneliness epidemic.
What do you feel about this? So I feel like God kind of made my dad's family go extinct. He's pushing them to extinction because they can't get anything right. So my grandfather is divorced from my grandma, right? Married and divorced. Mind you, these are Catholic people that really cherish marriage and all that stuff that try to push that on. And then my dad has 5 kids. 4 of them are guys, all divorced. My dad's divorced. My uncle is divorced. My other uncle is divorced. And they all have daughters. One of them has a son. He's married, but he doesn't want any kids at all. The girls are going to conceive, but they're not going to take the Delgado last name, you know? My other uncle has a son, but I already know he's gay because he's trying to braid my hair and all that shit. And like he's doing hair way better than me, and he's like so much younger.
Yeah.
So I was telling like my uncle that I think that like because none of the men can get it right and they all divorce, it's like a generational curse that God was like, nah, let's just not make any more of you guys. You know, you guys can't get it right. We're just going to keep the girls, and we're going to have the girls carry on the other men's family tree, like have their family tree live on.
What an interesting God you believe in. We had a great time on this week's episode talking to Jimmy Velarde. You'll see, he's a great guy, so funny. I mean, his stand-up is great. He's jumped in leaps and bounds. A very sexy guy. Yes, he has a little pot belly, but he enjoys life. He's a good guy.
He's very sweet. He opens the door for you.
Very sweet, very funny. Sexiness about him you'll pick up on. The man's never had a problem with women. But we had a great time talking to him. You guys are going to love him too. So without further ado, here is Jimmy Velarde. Yay. Welcome back to Straight Up with Steve Stevona. We're here with a very special guest. He's a sexy, funny guy. He's had a hard life, and that shows up on his face. Folks, of course, you know I'm talking about Jimmy Velarde.
Hey. What's up, everybody? Yeah. Yes, let's go, Jimmy.
You're 29 now?
Yeah, 29.
29. If you don't know, I want you to, and then Greg, in the edit, make sure you get a close-up on his face right now. Whenever Jimmy says he previously it's been 28 years old. Whenever he says I'm 28, people gasp because he seems like a hot like young 42-year-old, like a 42-year-old like divorced dad, and you're like, oh yeah, he's great looking for his age, and then you hear that and you're like, God damn. What do you?
It's hard life.
It's a hard life,
hard
yeah,
life,
right?
Man. You're not lying about that, man.
Old soul.
Old soul, definitely. When I was a kid, people used to be like, "Damn, he's an old soul," and it was like, now I look back at it, and it's like, yeah, I was probably fucking like depressed. You fuck son, nobody. Oh, he's just an old soul.
And they always say that to people who just want to stay inside, huh?
Yeah. They're like, maybe I'm tired. Like, I don't, had a long day.
Well, I know you grew up in the foster care system. How old were you when you started that?
Pretty young, man. So my pops, he died. I was when all that stuff happened, I was probably 1.
Oh my God! So you really grew up in the system?
Yeah, so you could say that. We spent like the first I can't even remember how much, 4 or 5 years, something like that, in actual foster, kind of like different houses.
Okay.
And then we eventually got adopted by our godmom.
Yeah, good. Thank God.
At what age did you guys get adopted?
I was like fairly young too. I was probably like, I can't remember exactly. I was a kid, very small, very young.
Yeah, I think about all the. I didn't have to go through that, but just in abuse and trauma and stuff like that, you got to be so little to like. You just are trying to figure shit out, and you have to kind of like accept some hard truths very early. I think I don't think I'm a misogynist anymore, but I do think that I remember being very little. My mom will talk about this too. Is when I was like 3 or 4, I remember telling my mom, let's go. Like, we don't have to stay here.
Yeah. We
don't have to like put up with this. We can live with grandma. And my mom was just did not leave my dad. And so that's where I think, like being a 3 or 4-year-old, I think I must have been like, oh, women are stupid. Like I must have been like, they don't know. That must happen to like tons of guys, right?
I think about that too. Because my mom was the complete opposite. My mom was like, "I'm kicking you out. Like they gotta go." So I was just like, "Yeah, women are stupid too." But then I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute."
you mean you hated your mom for kicking them out?
No, I didn't. But I just thought like it's gonna be as easy as that, and it's not as easy to just like kick them out. I'm like, damn, my mom like she just disposes of men pretty quickly.
And so, why would you think she was stupid then?
No, not her. Just other women who wouldn't leave.
Oh, okay. Oh, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't say she was stupid. I was like, oh, like, love so easy. And I'm like, it's actually not that easy. The older I get,
I don't think it's love. I think it's abuse.
Men are abusive.
Makes you do crazy things.
And manipulative. And it's a lot more men than I thought of. It's crazy. I really do think I was really shielded a lot as a kid. Because I'm seeing like all these celebrities or all these like influencers as well coming out like being abusive, hitting their wives, or like being mass serial cheaters. It's like, damn. It's crazy. These men out here are wild and like, why don't they care? Why don't they care?
Well, you know what's so funny? I have all the stuff like I have like a controlling, abusive husband in me, and sometimes I'll say the things to Julia as a joke, but I know that this is how they think and this is what they would say. Like I was joking around. Julia's in Indiana right now. She's coming back. She's at the Limestone Comedy Festival, and so she's going to be gone for 3 or 4 days. And so I got to take care of the baby. And so I was saying stuff like, I was like, you know, of course, obviously I love her and support her. And I'm actually very happy that she's going to Indiana to have fun for her career and to experience it and to not actually be with the baby. But I kept saying stuff like, man, I can't believe a mother would leave their kid alone at this age. Like before 3, at this age, if you waited till after they were older, that makes sense to me. But I can't believe like a good mom would actually leave her kid like this. And then I would like start laughing, you know.
I'll do stuff like that all the time too. That's the best. And I understand exactly what you mean when you know that that's what they would be saying.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I don't know where I learned it from. I don't know because I mean I didn't have like strong male figures growing up, but I feel like that monster lurks inside of me too, you know. Like wants to tell a woman to make me a sandwich, you know?
I don't. Well, see, mine is a little that's like very heavy-handed, that thing. But my stuff that comes up is I think more insidious, and I could absolutely see there's like things I could say or do, or even like. Sometimes I'll start off joking. I've gotten better at this. Sometimes I'll start off joking about a thing, and then it kind of becomes real. No. And this is stuff that I'm working on all the time. Yeah, but it's like, yeah, it's not like a good thing. It's funny too because I'm glad you're here, Jimmy. But I grew up in the alternative East Side, like a lot of white people comedy, and even I grew up around white people in church and everything like that. But you can't talk to like a lot of people about this stuff because they don't want to acknowledge like this ugly truth. Whereas like a Mexican room, when I talk about like, oh yeah, we all got beat. How many people's dad beat them and then tries to act like they didn't anymore, and everyone's like, yeah. But you can't do that to like a white audience. At least a white audience here in LA. Yeah. Maybe some very poor people in the South. Yeah. Like Shane Bianchi may as well be Mexican or black as far as I'm concerned, you know?
Yes.
Because he grew up so poor and everything. You could tell like this guy, I can't tell him he could say the N-word or anything like that, but I'm like, this guy he's had it as rough as any of us have. So that's I like talking about that stuff because it's like, if you don't talk about it, if we don't joke about it, then people will keep it inside. And I do think it's better for guys to talk about this stuff so that you just keep yourself honest. Even like, I think we should be joking about and all this stuff because all that shame is what really f***s people up. Yeah. And if you got that's not your fault. Yeah. You should not be ashamed of that. Somebody did that to you. They should be ashamed.
I feel like you should, like you're because I just like several things that from my childhood that I'd be like, I shouldn't talk about that, whatever the hell, and I would feel ashamed about it. But for me personally, I kind of stopped doing that because it was like I think I was giving it too much power over me.
Yeah.
And it was affecting me too much, and I wanted to be able to just fucking, if I needed for whatever reason, talk about it and not let it get to me as much, So then I started kind of just using it on stage. But honestly, I have been taking a break from doing this, like talking so much about it on stage. I don't know. The other day I did a set though, and someone was like, "Man, you should talk more about that. People want to hear about stuff like that." And I was like, "All right."
Well, I mean, speaking purely comedically,
It's hard when you only have 10 minutes.
That's a truly a big deal. Like, I worked on. It took me a long time to get very good, like, queer gay joke stuff to express myself and to make, like, a regular Mexican guy laugh. It took a long time to do that, but I used to try to just, like, bring it up real quick in a 10-minute set. It's just not the place for it. You can maybe get away with it, like, if you want to do the second half of a 10-minute set, but ideally, like, in a 20-minute set, you do just stupid jokes for the first 10 minutes. Everyone laughs and they go, "Oh, this guy's funny." Then you could get into edgier material like that where they don't feel like, what the fuck is happening right now? So it's just about doing longer sets too. So,
Yeah.
but when people hear it, especially people who really know comedy, they know that's like high level good shit. But we can't like shape our art around like high level good shit because most people are stupid. So you have to like save that stuff for longer sets.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people are fucking dumb. So what are you gonna do?
I'm definitely. I mean, I'm still new to it. Fairly new, but I'm definitely learning that. There's just certain crowds. Just like, all right, these people don't want to hear that.
Oh yeah.
Do you feel like that kind of stuff is hard to say at the Comedy Store when you get picked on the lottery when you
Oh
go
yeah,
to
of
the
course.
open mic?
I mean, think
because
about 3 minutes.
it's only 3 minutes, and I feel I've only done it once, but I felt like the crowd was mainly white also, and majority of them are like tourists. Right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
people
That's
that
how
stay
the
in
Comedy
front.
Store is. People have been listening to Joe Rogan for years, and when
Yeah.
they go to Hollywood, they're like, "Oh, I got to go to the Comedy Store."
Yeah,
they
that's
like.
what it
I mean,
is.
the stuff that's what you gotta. When we're talking about America, you got to remember America is primarily bigoted. They hate women. They hate people of color. They definitely hate trans people. They're homophobic. That's why stuff that happens on Kill Tony and those people say those jokes and everybody laughs. That's why Kill Tony's the most popular because everyone's like, "Yeah, people are finally saying it." Yeah, but it's like, "Oh no, we are a hateful nation."
Yeah.
But if you got 3 minutes, that's why. Like I've seen, I don't know if you guys seen this at potluck before, but there's like old people that'll get up and then do like a bunch of old people jokes, like, "Oh yeah, I'm saying," and then everyone's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Relax, give me a fucking break."
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I've been for a few comics. I've heard pretty good things about this new booker. I guess I don't know. I didn't even know who it is. To be honest, I haven't had.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't.
Don't know nothing
I
about
don't
it,
know
but-
their name either, but I've heard good things about him too.
Apparently, like they're just, I guess, looking more at younger comedians, more.
Well, that's bad news for me, Jimmy. Geez, why'd you say that right now?
You're still young.
I'm old as hell, fool.
Jimmy, don't lie to him. Come
I
on,
know.
don't come on our podcast.
I know
and start
you look
lying,
older than
dude.
me, but my
Nah,
actual
man.
age is
You're
old.
out here moving and grooving. You got that.
Got a kid.
Yeah, you're doing a lot, man.
Them knees working, baby
Now
boy.
Jimmy is, I don't know, we'll post more pictures. I'll post some sexy pictures of him. Greg, make sure you get a close-up of him. He is a sexy guy, but I felt like kind of maybe a low self-esteem vibe. And then recently I figured out that he used to be a fat kid. He used to be fat. He's been posting some fat pictures of himself.
No, but it's actually that's before all that, dude. That's like that part of my life.
Yeah.
That was like, pretty short, man. That was only a few years.
The
Was that-
fatness.
Yeah,
Did you
dude. That
get-
was like I was like maybe 24 when I was like that, and then I was like 24 maybe when I when I got like that, and then I don't know. I stopped a few years. It was like,
So what changed when you turned 24? What changed for this
I don't know,
fatness to kick in?
to be honest, Steve, I was just
He had a
I
home.
wasn't. I kind of like stopped messing around a lot, like doing a lot of the stuff I was doing, with the homies and shit like that. And
Oh, when you
so,
turned
yeah.
24.
Yeah, so I was like, I started working a lot more in construction.
Yeah.
And then I just had a lot of, to be honest, a lot of kind of extra cash to spend. I didn't have much going on.
Mm.
And I was just eating like chili cheese fries for breakfast,
Oh.
lunch, and dinner.
I love me
I
some
was
chili
like-
cheese fries.
I think what did I
man.
tell you last time about the Little Caesars? That I was like, I'd go to Little Caesars, and I mean, 99% of the time I'm f***ing cooked, or I'd been smoking or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'd go to Little Caesars and I'd get the whole box, and I wouldn't leave that parking lot until it was fucking done.
Wow, you wouldn't go home?
No, they used to have this one. Do you remember that one day it was like half f***ing cheesy bread and half
Yeah,
pizza?
they have
Yeah.
that still.
I would get that shit. Man.
If you have the T-Mobile app, every Tuesday you can get it for $2.
See,
Oh, you only get that kind of stuff here at Straight Up with Steve Stevona,
There you
okay?
go.
That's
Get
how
the
you-
T-Mobile app. So you can
When
get
I
the-
lived in Long Beach, that's how I would eat a lot of the times on Tuesday because they would give away like deals or free combos at Wendy's and stuff like that.
nah, but I was and then I'd work in the early years of me doing construction. I was with my grandpa,
Yeah.
my dad's side, and he never finished his food.
Yeah.
Never. So for lunch, I'd always get like a salad fries for myself, and then I'd finish half of his burrito.
So you stopped partying and then you started eating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But eating and working. I just did a lot of working. I just Sunday through Monday. You know, if I wasn't working for a contractor or a company, I was doing side jobs.
Yeah, that's all. That's like a regular thing that happens. If you go to like AA or anything like that, they say, "Hey, man, as long as you are not drinking, eat as much sugar as you want." That's why. If you
I was definitely drinking though. I was like, man, it was like 3 packs every day after work.
Wow.
I was doing the like.
That's a construction worker.
Yeah,
life,
I was doing
though,
all
huh?
that. Getting hammered on Friday night and showing up Saturday night with the fucking work boots in the trunk and just, you know.
Well, that's just also like those first
framing people's houses on like cliffs and shit. Like, we got it.
That's also like when you first become an adult, and then you could kind of do whatever. You had a little bit of money, so every little kid's dream is to like eat whatever you want, whenever you want, and so when you say 3-pack, you mean 3 tall boys, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
When I worked at Chevron, we would shotgun the tall can of Modelo's in the back of the freezer because they didn't have cameras back there. I still have so many videos.
You would just work buzzed and drunk at work?
Try to be. It wasn't really. I didn't really like drinking, but I would just do it because I was so bored. So I would drink like one. But everybody would get pretty buzzed there. I would get faded. That's the only thing I would get. Super faded.
That's just like a construction site. That's the same shit, man.
Everyone's just fucked up.
One time they
I dated a construction worker actually, and he was doing cocaine on the.
Yeah. There's like that's like the lowest. You know, there's other shit going on, all kinds of other crazy stuff going on.
Yeah.
Depends on what construction you're working with. For a while, I was with my cousin, and they're like Baptists, so they were boring. There wasn't fun shit going on. You know? Nobody.
The lowest rung. What are you talking about?
People are like fucking doing like meth on job sites and shit, man. You know, there's fucking meth, there's pills, there's.
They need that meth head.
Drinking hot beer. You ever seen that?
Ew.
I seen guys drink a fucking hot 18-pack of Bud Light because nobody had fucking a ride to go to the store and they couldn't leave the framing job.
Oh my God. Yeah, I had an ex-boyfriend who would get drunk at the club and then literally go straight to work in construction.
Yeah.
It was hot. Oh my gosh.
It's a long night of freaking nosing it, and it was terrible.
A man who goes to work and doesn't complain. So hot.
You had to go to work.
He had to pay for his fast food.
Yeah,
you gotta pay for them chili cheese fries.
Yeah.
You had debt when you were 24?
Yeah, it's just that's like, you know, nobody really taught me shit, you know, so I just kind of went head first and did a lot of I learned shit the hard way, Steve, unfortunately, you know, so I mean, even now, like I think I'm deciding to just let it go. I mean, they keep calling me, but I haven't answered.
What?
Like the debt, the credit card. I'm just like, they keep calling me, and people told me like, man, if you don't,
them watching this podcast right now,
like if you don't, they're gonna call you. And like, they won't call that much. They call Steve a lot.
How much debt do you have? Credit card?
Like 22,000.
God damn, that's a lot.
Yeah.
The most I had was, I remember at one point was like 12, and I would always pay like pretty good amount on it, but it just is never going down because I still kept doing whatever I wanted.
Yeah, that's my problem. That's my problem. I just like I'll go on this fucking little trip. I'll put this trip on the card.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I was living in Hollywood for a decade, so you're just going out like all the time. It's just all, you know. Luckily, my shit wasn't that crazy, but still, it was enough where it would just never go down. Finally, like in the pandemic, I had a good enough credit score because I like always made payments. I made pretty big payments too. That I just took out I just consolidated the loan.
Yeah.
And I got like a $20,000 loan or a $12,000 loan and paid it off. And then I just had to pay like $600 a month for like 3 years, which I was paying way more than $600 on everything else I was doing. So I was like.
And it was going to be shorter too, the time you're going to be paying that. No,
who knows how long I would have been paying it for. Yeah. But yeah, that just jacked my credit up good now too. But yeah, it's
I might do something like that. I mean, that's what my brother keeps saying.
I heard after 7 years it falls off, right?
Who knows? 7 years is a long time.
Because I owe too. I owe like 7K, but like 5K of it was 7 years ago, and they don't call me though.
Well, you're still making payments, right?
No.
Damn.
I haven't made payments in years.
That's cool.
And they recently did tell me something in the mail saying that I owed, but then I looked on Credit Karma and it was like it's almost going to be like 7 years. So I'm like, so do I pay it back? Because I heard that it just falls off.
Well, I don't know. I guess that's something to look into. Credit card scores, that like started like 30 years ago.
Yeah. I know they're stupid.
It's just America. They don't have credit scores in Europe. It's like bullshit.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't, and it's, what good your credit score is if you're going to buy a car or you're going to buy a house. None of us are ever going to buy a house. We have no shot at it.
I might.
Use my grandpa's credit score.
I'm gonna have a baby.
He falls asleep.
I'm gonna use my newborn's credit score.
So that's so interesting. You just became fat for a few years. Then what snapped you out of it? You wanted to have sex again, right?
But obviously that's always, that's
yeah.
But it's not just that. It was I don't know. I just kind of fucking was feeling like shit all the time.
Yeah.
It's constant. Honestly, like just constant acid, reflux.
Oof, yeah.
I was getting it really bad. So I stopped drinking beer too for a while, and then I started. But thing is, and then I hate to say this because people are gonna be like, "Oh," they're gonna be people who's like, "Oh, I don't do that. Comedy didn't do that to me."
Yeah.
But I was like on a year straight, just like working out and cooking my home meals and everything, and I had slimmed down pretty good, and whatever. And I started doing comedy and just.
It definitely is. It's hard, and anybody who says that, anybody who tries to say that you can't do both at the same time is
no. It's not that. I mean, I could definitely. I have like energy and all that. The problem, well, it's not that there's a problem. It's just that I have a full-time job that for the most part requires me to work more than 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So and I barely have enough time to make it home, shower, get changed, and go to mic.
Yeah.
And I try to do that at least like once a day.
Yeah.
At least, and then sometimes 2 or whatever, but. There's just, I mean, if I make time for the gym, it's either wake up at like 3 a.m. before work or just not go to a mic, and I'd rather go to a mic.
Yeah, no, this definitely isn't like people die on this job for a reason. Like I've known way more, I think, than like a regular accountant. I know way more people that have died and will die because this is a rough lifestyle. I mean, I bartend, so that's like a rough lifestyle. Yeah. Especially, I've almost done it for 20 years now.
And there are people that would rather do those things instead, that would rather go to the gym more than they go to stand-up and stuff. But then it shows when they're on stage, to be honest, Like, sometimes, like, I'll be telling Sylvia, like, bitch, sometimes it's like you just be so fucking funny sometimes because you don't got to focus on, like, anything else. Like, you don't go to the gym. You don't focus on what you eat. Like, you could just put everything, all of that into just, like, jokes all her time. And that's why every single day she's watching comedy or she's at a mic or she's listening to it on her phone. Like, she's always just, like, 24/7 involved in comedy.
Yeah.
Fat as hell, involved in comedy. That's Stevona, folks. That's a Stevona quote. That's my problem, too. I'm watching comedy so much I can't make it to the gym.
Nobody can get mad at you. If, as a comedian, we can just, give you like a fist bump and say, hey,
Yeah, that's so true. But yeah, keep going to
great.
the gym, y'all. Keep going to the gym. Get worse on us so we can make it to the top faster.
Well, I just tried to say, but I tell myself, okay, if you don't have time to go to the gym, then just don't eat so fucking bad anymore.
Yeah.
And, I think, maybe once out of a week, I do good. One night out of a week, I do good. Every other night, it's like,
You can get the family pack, the family meal at Waba Grill or Flame Broiler for like $30 and then meal prep that.
And that's what the, if you have the Enterprise rental car
after
app,
a mic,
they do give you a discount there on Thursdays.
Also, I got a Costco card, so if you want to get food there for cheaper, it's like $1.50 for like a hot dog and a drink.
Yeah, a hot dog if you want to get healthy. So you get a hot dog and a drink there.
And on a budget.
But there's no Costco. Where's the Costco around?
I know. I do have to make a drive. It's like a fucking field trip.
And every time that I'm eating like shit, it's after a mic, after like the hours of midnight.
Where do you live?
Norwalk.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and then it just be a war zone in there with all them damn Asians. Like, I'm outnumbered all the time.
I just finished listening to another episode, and this was a topic that we stood.
I'm sorry. It's just like when you step into Costco, like, I'm prepared. I'm like, I'm stepping into their turf. Like,
you said with all these damn Asians.
Dude.
That's racist.
They own the fucking Costco.
Which Costco do you go to?
I went to the one in Long Beach all the time, and then the one on Azusa.
Well, those
That's
are
the
two
thing is like if
cities
I
there.
go, like I need to take because every Costco I go to, I'm always outnumbered by the Asians. I'm like, I need to take a cousin or I need to take like my mom, and like we need to fucking lock arms as we like enter because
These people,
they
they
be going in packs.
Are they not-
Too.
are
They
they-
all got a lot of
They don't
friends
do
and
anything
family.
to you, do they?
There's just so many of them, and they
It makes you nervous.
yes, I'm outnumbered. And they don't give a fuck either. They're on a mission.
Do you ever go
You
to
can't
like
stop an Asian at a Costco. They're on a fucking mission.
Do you ever go to like Asian restaurants?
Yes, I do.
There's a lot of them there too.
Yeah, but they're not all moving around and rushing and cutting me a line.
But they
not
do have
cutting me a line,
freaking
but-
knives. And,
but I don't see it.
I don't know, freaking.
I mean, I feel like they should be, the same way I feel they would be nervous if they fucking went to the Santa Fe Springs swap meet.
Well, anybody would be nervous at Santa Fe Springs swap meet. I went there and I was like, why are these older women staring at me?
I'm trying to figure out if I'm thinking about I go to the San Dimas Costco.
And the Asians got the businesses too, so they got the big old dollies.
So I'm trying to figure out this. I'm trying to figure out if there are times when I've gone to Costco's and there are a lot of Asian people. So if Stevona is just telling the truth that there's a lot of Asians in Costco's, does that make it racist?
No, because I'm saying they're powerful and they double us in numbers and they're about to take over the world.
They've
One
already
Costco at a
they've
time.
taken over the world. Have you heard of China?
No, they do. They're far too superior for us. Damn it. They're the closest things we have to aliens.
Do you know that? Well, what I'm going to say, I was just going to.
Alright.
Fucking smart.
No. I'm going to tell you this. This is real truth. White supremacists, people who, what's the word when they believe in racial hierarchy? There's a word for it. Or even people who believe in eugenics, which is the study of the human brain and stuff like that. And these are white supremacists talking here, Stevona. They do believe that Asians are the highest, and then below them are white people.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
And then colored people are dumber than white people. So white supremacists believe what you believe, Stevona.
Damn, that's crazy. I didn't know.
That the people who believe in eugenics, they think that there are differences in our brain size and how the brains work and stuff. None of it's true, by the way.
You know, I know that, but just the fact that, I always figure, white supremacy is like, okay, we're number one, that's it.
No,
Right.
no, they just they believe in this hierarchy of they don't. I don't.
That's
think,
why they bully the colored people, but
They
the
just think they're better
Asians
than
just
us.
slide by.
Yeah, they don't. They don't like.
They don't pay attention to the Asians, right?
No,
Because
and that-
Asians are immigrants also.
Yeah, they do, but I guess.
But they don't be like.
Asian people. I mean, this is. I don't know if this is the place to talk about this, but they can easily. They'll slide into. The way we're talking about this is very tricky because we're just joking about Asian stuff. So this is a real thing where they Asian people will benefit from white supremacy oftentimes too. They're not going to be white people aren't going to say, "Oh, we're leaving the neighborhood. Let's kick out these Japanese people." That's like not a thing that happens typically.
Yeah, because the Japanese people clean up after themselves and they take
Well-
their shoes off when they go inside the house so they're cleaner.
Yes, it has
Well,
to do
that-
with their shit.
More disciplined.
Well, there are a lot of Mexicans that actually take care of themselves and clean it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the problem.
Very
when you,
little, but
this
yeah,
is the
they're out
problem
there.
when you say blanket statements about whole races like that. Is you're actually, without you knowing it too, repeating racist stuff.
But it's nice racist stuff.
Nice racist stuff is the yeah.
Mexicans don't have time to take off their shoes when they go in their house because we're on the go. We're moving.
Yeah.
Working. I just, I forgot my wallet. I'm on the way to work.
And
I
Mexicans
can't
let their
take my
dogs
fucking
sleep
boots
in their
off.
beds. Mexicans let their dogs sleep in their beds.
I don't
I know
let my
the
fucking
Asians
dogs
keep
sleep
their
in my
dogs
bed.
outside, or their Asians, their dogs got their own damn
Let me tell you
room in
something,
the house.
Stevona. My line of work, I go into a lot of people's houses, all kinds of people's houses, and I go into Asian people's houses, and some of them love their dogs just like anybody else too. I've been seeing them over their French kissing their little Pomeranians and shit.
But yeah, that's what I was saying in that last episode when I was saying that Asians get away with a lot. That's what I was talking about, Steve, that they get away with a lot.
Can't-
Nobody's letting them get away with anything
The
except
white
you. I think
supremacy
all
people.
races have all different kinds of people.
The only time they really got it was during COVID. That's when they really knew what it was like to be black or brown.
Oh. COVID
I
affected us
I
all in
love
a
Asian
different way, I
people.
guess.
My best friends are, never mind, I'm just sounding like I have black friends.
Well,
Some of my favorite jokes of yours, Jimmy, are when you talk about your job hanging blinds
Yeah.
at rich people's houses.
yeah, man.
And they do treat you different all the time.
Yeah, I always get different responses, man. I mean, but I don't know. It's kind of helped reinforce a thought that I've always had. I try not to judge people like that.
Yeah.
Based off, there's always nice people and there's up people and everywhere,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always different. Some people will be nice. Some of them are sketchy. Some of them are like they feel like they're scared to have me in their house. Some of them want to follow me around in every fucking room. I had this one, and they're Peruvians.
Yeah.
And they had their kids. They said, stand right there and see if he needs help. Like, yeah, right. Like, see if he needs help. And I'm like, kid, I don't need help. And he's like, well, I have to stay here. And I was like, all right, man.
Oh my God.
You don't have anything that I want, bro. What am I gonna?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And they're Peruvian.
Yeah.
So they're brown too, right?
Nah, these are white Peruvians.
Okay.
White,
Dude, that is so funny. How long you been doing that job for?
Been going on 2 years, probably.
It's pretty good money, right?
Yeah, it's decent. They take care of everything, bro. I get company van, the gas, and so.
Yeah,
it's
my buddy Jack's been doing that for years too, and he likes it, and he make good money. But
And it must be fun to like go different places all the time.
Well, we go to like celebrity homes, man.
Yeah.
A lot because it's the company I work for is the top of the line as far as that type of stuff. Window treatments, I guess they call them. And
yeah, I know you can't say names because of your job, but have you had any bad experience with a celebrity before?
No, man. But
they're all pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I've only been to celebrity homes when I got lucky because it was like a job that required multiple guys.
Yeah.
But they usually send the more experienced guys to those type of jobs.
So in your job, do you know how many employees there are?
It's a big company, bro.
All right.
Nationwide.
Is there a way for you to keep moving up? Can you get more respect? There's different levels.
Yeah, then there's guys that are like all into it, and they're like, oh, then we get commission off for everything, so everything worries them, bro. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, I hate doing overtime. They're always trying to offer it to me, and they're like, hey, we got a 20.
Ain't nothing wrong with saying no to fucking
I always tell them,
overtime,
like,
all right?
they get mad because these guys are like, they're trying to do these big installs, and they're trying to finish up, and I'm like, hey, man, it's fucking 4, bro. I'm out of here. And they're like, we got to finish this to get our commission. I'm like, hey, man, I got to get to an open mic, bro. I don't want to be last in Chatterbox, man. I don't want to be fucking, I'm out of here, bro.
Yeah, and Steve's not letting people sign up later when you come in. So you gotta get
Tuesdays,
your
guys.
own
I'm
time.
telling you, coming Tuesday, set of the night. That's the new.
He's
You want a
really trying to make
relaxed
these
open
Tuesdays
mic
happen.
thing? Coming to Tuesdays.
Yeah,
Thursdays,
it is definitely.
Thursdays is a whole different thing now. You if you come past 9 o'clock, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. Especially the hosts and you people that are very comfortable. Okay.
Yeah.
And when I say you people, I'm not talking about Asians.
I come on. Actually, okay, if you're Asian and you come to Chatterbox open mic when I'm hosting, I'll bump you up.
There you go. Reparations.
Yeah.
Reparations for the nose picking comment from episode 2.
Yeah, well,
yeah, that was-
I promise.
I heard that and I was like, I pick my nose sometimes.
But do you do it in public?
Sometimes, yeah.
Ew,
On the
I
freeway. But
haven't tried
always with like a napkin on my
No,
freeway.
they don't do it no napkin. That's what I'm saying.
There's white people in everybody picks their nose.
No, but all the many times that I've caught people doing it in public, they've all had one common interest.
I mean, you live like in a...
They're all Asian.
Didn't you
And
grow
their
up in San Diego
favorite
Valley?
parts, their favorite places to do it is in the car
Everyone's favorite place to pick their nose.
and in the mall at JCPenney.
JCPenney.
Mark this one down, Greg. Asian people picking their nose in Japan. And by the way,
In Japan, JCPenney.
and it's JCPenney's. And by the way, too, this covers Koreans, Vietnamese, Filipinos. All Asians enjoy picking their nose at JCPenney. I don't know how long I could do the podcast for if these things are going to keep coming out.
They just all meet up at JCPenney.
I know. As soon as a Reddit forum starts for us,
Oh
we're
my
done.
gosh, I
Just
can't
keeping
wait.
track of all of Steve
I
Stevona's
can't
things.
wait.
The new
I
one
know.
is JCPenney.
Dude, there's going to be so much fucking clips
This is,
of me.
but this
Oh
is
my
almost
gosh.
a character that, like, if something happens to them once or twice, set attributes it to the whole race of people. Like, oh man, don't you hate it when French guys break up with you on the third date? Oh, I hate it when I hate it when Polish people eat the rest of your rotisserie chicken, even though you wrote their name on it.
I told
They're
you.
known for that. I don't
Hey,
even know
told
this
you
about
guys.
Polish people or
Yeah.
not, but
When I'm hosting,
Don't
if
leave
you're
your-
Asian, I'll bump you up. Come to the open mic on Chatterbox. We need more Asians and we need more blacks. Can you say blacks?
Black people, you can say black. More
Okay.
black people are coming, but I don't know if you can say blacks. And
Black people sounds good, but blacks kind of sounded a little harsh. That's why I asked.
yeah,
black
we-
is how we say it in jail.
I know. Okay. All right.
Well, not we, because I'm not,
We need more black people to come. We really do.
But they are coming. I do find like there are more black people coming.
Yeah, Cedric is really starting to make it happen here. He's been coming and he's been being consistent. We've had KJ here for a minute, and we just needed one more black guy to come in and really solidify that we are here for them, and Cedric has been doing that for us. I feel like he's been pulling more black comics in, and we want them to keep coming. Come to the Chatterbox.
See, folks, she's not all the way bad. Before we go, I do want to talk to you about dating. Are you dating anyone right now, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah? Where'd you meet this
Wait,
person?
can you ask him again? Because I coughed.
Before we go, I do want to get one more thing with you. Are you dating anyone right now, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Where'd you meet this person?
At a music kind of show.
A music show.
Yeah, at a venue, like a little dive bar type of deal.
To see what kind of music?
It's rockabilly.
Oh,
Yeah.
Are you like rockabilly music?
Yeah.
I guess your look makes a little more sense there.
Yeah.
Although you have some ranchero elements there. I
Yeah.
like that too. Is this a rockabilly person? Does she dress like that?
Not as much anymore. You gotta go to work and corporate and all that shit.
That's so true.
Do you know when I started dating Julia that she dressed rockabilly?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
I've seen
she
pictures.
looks very hot that way too. But in my head, I was like, I can't date someone who dresses rockabilly all the time. I mean, I really did tell her after we were dating for some months. I was like, you can't be dressing like rockabilly.
It's really hard to keep up with.
She knew that too. It's not like I said stop dressing rockabilly, but she knows it's like you're always got to wear these dresses. You're always got to be doing your makeup.
it's a
You're
lot,
always
yeah.
got to be doing your
You
hair.
always gotta have that red lipstick
Yeah,
on.
like she'll only do it like if we go out or whatever but for the most part it's like just.
So
gotta
you
go to
saw
work.
her? How did you start? You went and talked to her.
Yeah, well, no, she approached me.
Oh
The
damn!
ladies love
Whoa.
Jimmy. Let's get one thing straight. The ladies love Jimmy.
She came up to you. What did she say?
He looks like he opens the car door for a girl.
She just kind of yeah.
You do? He looks like he opens the car door.
She just introduced herself, and then I forgot what just sparked up a conversation.
Yeah.
And then she complimented me on my boots, I think.
Oh wow! See this, fellas? All these fucking incels, all these guys who start to hate women, and you talk shit about women online and everything. Just take
And
care of
he's
yourself.
pictures amongst them.
Yeah, just take care of
With your
yourself.
friends.
Buy some nice boots, okay? Put a little thought into your clothing. You know what I mean? This guy still fucking pigs out on chili cheese fries sometimes, and he's pulling these babes, okay? So just take care of yourselves. Be nice. Lay in the cut, okay? Then you too could be like Jimmy Velarde. Thank you so much for being on, Jimmy. Where can we find you online?
Instagram, my Instagram is jimmy.a.velarde. If not, it's about it right now. I haven't really uploaded that.
Hell yeah.
That's all I'm doing right now. I got some stuff in the works, but for now it's just Instagram.
All right.
And you guys can catch him hosting here
Oh
at
yeah,
Chatterbox.
sorry, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I mean, by the time this airs, they'll already have done. Him and Jorge Romero will have done their first set.
Yeah.
But that's for us. That's tonight.
Yeah,
So
tonight,
very
yeah.
excited. You
Yeah.
guys have come along quickly. What a duo! Who would have thought?
Not me.
I'm feeling you guys, you got to trust me. I feel magic, and I'm like feeling for things. That's why there's some people I want to host, but I haven't thought of another partner for them yet.
No, yeah, definitely.
When are we doing the Buster and Adam Chong?
We'll talk about it off the air.
Okay.
Stevona, where can we find you online?
You can find me on TikTok at Stevona, Stevona. Stevona, that's my name. Instagram is Stevona Delgado. My own personal YouTube channel is Stevona's House.
And you can find me at Hernia on Instagram, and I think Steve Hernandez Comedy on TikTok. We're posting more all the time. Steve and I are going to start putting on more content too. Thank you guys so much. Please subscribe. Please come to Chatterbox Comedy Night.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
See ya.